Paradice Investment Management is an Aussie-based boutique fund manager that started really in the late 1990s with a dedicated Australian small cap fund. And that business now encompasses an Australian small cap fund, an Aussie mid cap fund, Australian large cap fund, which have been closed for 6 or 7 years now. Very good support from the institutional network here in Australia's superannuation industry. 6 years ago, we set up a global small and mid-cap strategy based out of Denver, Colorado, which is where I run the strategy from. So David Paradice and Paradice Investment Management here in Australia is our partner in that strategy, and we've been going for 6 years now. So I have a background in international funds management, so came from a firm called Artisan Partners in San Francisco, which is a very large international asset manager. I've also spent time living in Brazil and in London, so I've been investing outside of and inside the U.S. For over 20 years. So global small and mid cap is really one of the largest investable universes in the world. It really encompasses everything between zero market cap to almost 10 billion. It depends on your definition of mid cap. Some of that's geographic, as we found. But really, what we're trying to do is set up an investment strategy that focuses on the smaller end of the market cap curve, where we see the least amount of investment research and really a lot of times the biggest dislocations between price and value. In most portfolios, investors don't have dedicated exposure to the smaller end of the market cap curve, especially as they tiptoe overseas, so a lot of domestic bias. Again, they feel more comfortable in the beginning investing in those businesses and companies they might have heard of, the Googles, the Microsofts of the world. But what we found in our investment careers is you tend to get higher excess compounding in the smaller, least discovered businesses. You may not have heard of these businesses, but a lot of times they dominate a little niche or sector or geography and have long-term compounding attributes that you don't necessarily get in the larger end of the market cap. Yeah, we think of the investment objective as twofold. First, we're trying to compound our clients' capital at the least amount of risk, and we're really trying to do it again in an asset class that is less correlated, provides greater diversification benefits to some of the asset classes and investments that they already have. So the investment philosophy and processes is, again, in this very large, unconstrained universe that we have to invest in, which is really global small companies, very diverse, is we're looking for really 4 key attributes in a business. I say we're quality-based investors. So again, you may not have heard of these businesses, but these are franchise-type businesses that have long-term track records, have earnings power over an economic cycle. They generate a lot of cash flow. Brands, franchises, again, that dominate a little niche or sector. Second, we like balance sheets to be quite strong. We like businesses that are run conservatively with net cash. They own their own real estate. We tend to find that in small companies, being conservative is offensive and defensive at the same time. It's offensive when you put good balance sheets in the hands of strong managers. They do smart things to grow business value, and in the down markets, which inevitably you have from time to time, is those businesses hold up better. The third attribute we really search for is again, a management team that understands how to grow business value. And fourth, we look for it at a discount. And so really we're running around the world looking for these 4 key attributes, and we do that through screens and a lot of travel and a lot of experience in understanding what is a good business that can compound at these nice risk-adjusted rates of return. We're a small team of 7 investors based in Denver and San Francisco, and so we search the world for really 60 or 65 investments And again, we're looking for these 4 key attributes, and we do that through screening. So we can screen on attributes like high cash flow, high returns on invested capital, solid margins, strong balance sheets. And we can also screen on valuation metrics like discounted cash flow. We also, nothing beats getting on a plane and going to visit a management team and understanding through their eyes and through the history of operations how they operate and grow their businesses over time. Yeah, for any global fund specifically right now in the world we live in where currencies are quite volatile at the moment, if you're an Australian domiciled investor, if the Aussie dollar were to strengthen significantly, an unhedged global strategy, not just ours, translated back into AUD, can be challenged in absolute returns. We've certainly seen a net benefit from a stronger dollar into AUD returns over time, but we are a broad-based portfolio of investments, again, relatively concentrated, 60-odd investments that give clients exposure to different geographies, sectors, currencies. We have almost 15% of the fund in emerging markets, which provides great growth attributes, but as you're probably aware, emerging markets can be 2 steps forward, 1 step back sometimes, but we've seen solid compounding over the years from those investments. But the key risks, in our view, are really short-term risks in terms of currencies and underperformance relative to benchmarks. We're really a benchmark agnostic strategy that, again, is really trying to compound at these nice risk-adjusted rates of return. We recommend that investors have a 3 to 5 year time horizon for a strategy such as this. There is more volatility because they're smaller companies. Again, the payoff of that volatility is higher compounding over time. But again, in the very short term markets that we tend to see right now is currency effect, geographic effects can sometimes have magnified outcomes on returns in the short term. So we always guide investors to look out 3 to 5 years for a strategy such as this.